would even do something like this. It is absolutely unbelievable. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. What is going on, guys? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show somewhere. Tonight we're going to be talking about space, we're going to be talking about SETI and the race to find a new race, and we're going to be talking about all sorts of other things, so stick around. It is absolutely getting fire hot. We'll be right back right after this. If you guys want to support this show, has been brought to you by NordVPN. If you use the special code Marfoogle, you'll get up to 70% off on the cyber protection. Marfooglenews.com/VPN. And keep in mind that nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone who helps the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. All right. What is going on, guys? My name is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. If you've never been here before, we have our main channel, Marfoogle News, at 155,000 subscribers on YouTube. The backup channel at 116,000 subscribers, that is Marfoogle TV, and our growing family over on DLive at 20,000 followers. So if you haven't joined any one of those, make sure to do so now. Everything that we're going to go over today, we have articles and we have a bibliography to back that up. In fact, we have it organized by thumbnail, so all you have to do is look for this on our website. So when you go to marfooglenews.com, you'll actually be able to find every single article, every single tweet, every single video that we show you here today. We actually give you your own access to it, so you don't have to just believe us. In fact, you can see what source we got it from and see if you are biased to that source, or you can share it out. So again, and then all of these will be here, including our callers. Will be live added to this. So by the end of the show, all of the callers' info will be here. So if they share pictures, or if they share a video, or if they share their own channel, it will all go right here at the bottom of the page. On the right side is all of the different ways you can support us, our Amazon links, all of that kind of stuff, EMP Shield, if you're curious about any of those. And you can also watch it straight from our website. So with that being said, I'm going to bring in Dex. Dex is our co-host. He'll be screening the calls at 224400 Marf. He'll also be helping in the background to get a lot of the physical stuff getting done, documents and photos from the callers. Dex, are you there, and can we do a sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
So obviously, a lot of people are talking about several things. We're not going to touch on one of the main ones. You know, a lot of the stuff, I would encourage you guys to go over to Twitter. I try to stay out of these arguments about these things that the multimedia literally gets on for 3-4 weeks, and it's about, you know, one solid case. Obviously, the a mood thing, I don't get into that, because I honestly think it's crazy that every side is literally pumping all of these different videos and biases and doing all this and that, and it's creating this like complete divide, and people are fighting tooth and nail. And it's like, what I don't get is, like, in Chicago, there's 30 of these events every freaking day, and they don't talk about that. You know, they pick and choose, and the social medias use these things. And I don't know if you guys know this, but they've done studies on it. And the things that people share are the things that people get angered by. So if you're triggered by something, that's good news. That's good news for them. You see, that's the thing. Like, I'm sure we could actually probably get a lot of growth from going over these really controversial things. But when you look at it, you kind of see the pattern. They are actually doing it on purpose. Now this is probably the worst on Twitter. They are literally always trying to pick a side and then push it down people's throats. And it's just really kind of disgusting. Again, either it doesn't matter what side you're on. it's literally, it's something that they literally push you into fighting. So we're going to go over today some of the weirder news and some of the stuff that's going on. Obviously, half of the country is still on lockdown. There's a lot of things going on that people are more concerned about as far as, what's going to affect you. So we're going to try to go down that list today. Again, you can follow with us on this. You can actually read along. If we don't read an article in full, again, you can access it through our website, marfooglenews.com. One thing that me and Dex were just talking about is the new spacesuits. And this is actually kind of weird. And the whole reason we were looking at this, and Dex pointed out, he's like, look at the new spacesuits compared to the old ones. And it almost looks like they're just like regular clothes, like a pullover sweater. They don't exactly look like they would be, space worthy. If you look at the kind of evolution of the spacesuit, it's kind of crazy because just a few years ago, before we stopped doing these manned missions, these suits were absolutely huge. They had seals along the wrists and along the feet, all of these crazy things that were there. Now, it literally looks like it's a pullover from Polo or something. I mean, like, I don't even know. It almost triggers people to say that they're not even real spacesuits. But these were indeed the suits that they got onto the ship with. So there's a question to be asked, like, technology has moved this far to where they can go in these. If you compare this to the old spacesuit that they would just go in normally, you would actually, it looked like they were ready for a moonwalk straight from takeoff. Again, these...
And doesn't that look like it's two pieces, Adam? Like literally like it's a jacket over a pair of pants?
Yeah, and let me try to blow this up a little bit. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it just looks... it looks like a sweater pullover. It looks like a vest. And then these helmets are so much smaller. I mean, I guess it looks a little cooler. You kind of look like an egghead, but... and then the thickness, I guess the technology on all of this has gone up. But, it's like it probably gives argument to the fact that, a lot of people don't. I would like to see what it looks like with the mask down. All the pictures that they show, at least on some of these, are with the glass up. But again, this is the new technology. They can run. They can do all sorts of stuff in this. Is this actually rated for, say, walking on the moon or something? So that's kind of a sign of where technology is right now compared to where it was, even 15 years ago. And then down...
It was flexible enough for them to climb into the back of some Tesla Model X's.
And by the way...
That's literally what they did.
That wasn't possible.
They got into Teslas and drove out to the launch pad.
That wasn't possible 15 years ago with the old spacesuits because of everything that was racked on. Look at this. So this is a former iteration. That looks like straight out of something like Danger Will Robinson. And then you've got these guys. This is closer to what people remember, the bright orange NASA suits. And then this. Look at that. That does not look comfortable. That looks like a back problem that you need to see a chiropractor about. And then you go farther back and you just got these huge, almost Christmas story suits on where it doesn't look like you can even move. So it has come a far way from the supposed moon landing where these things were just gigantic.
Now the really thick ones that you were showing, those are definitely the ones that we tend to see when they even do spacewalks today. So I totally get it. Like you got to have this really, really thick suit or what should be a thick suit to protect you from this, vacuum of space, right? But the launch suits are what's definitely have evolved quite a bit.
And we'll see. Look at this. That doesn't even look real. I don't know if that's a real or just an artistic picture, but that last one looks just completely cartoony. Again, with the whole point of that is that if you see the pictures of it up close, it literally looks like it's just like a pullover sweater. It just doesn't look like it would be space worthy. But on the other hand, we've covered things from Russia, some of the materials they're using. In fact, I just saw yesterday there was a story about a camouflaging jet that was going through. They're coming up with all this technology to actually camouflage tanks. They're using this weird mirror technology, these weird glass things that literally you can just look right through something. It's bending light around it. Then they said, the story about Antarctica just a few days ago. scientists say from NASA that they found evidence that there's an alter or a parallel universe somewhere out there, that time is time is going backwards, left is right, right is up, down is up, whatever. You get the point. And so there's a lot of weird things. Knowledge is doubling on a daily basis. So it's pretty crazy. Scientists warn of zombie fires in the Arctic. Check this out. It says that dormant zombie fires scattered across the Arctic region, remnants of a record blaze last year, may be coming to life after an unusually warm and dry spring. Scientists warn. It says we have satellite observations of active fires that hint that zombie fires might be reignited. And wait, so this is in Antarctica? Like, how would we have fires in Antarctica? Am I stupid for saying that? I mean, I guess.
No, I think it's Arctic. It's up north, right? Did it say Arctic or Antarctic?
Oh, no, I think maybe
yeah, I think it's Arctic. Right. I think it's up north.
So in the Arctic, so I guess these are brush fires? These are, what is your thought on this?
Oh, this is totally new to me. I've never heard of a zombie fire as a term, and let alone in the Arctic. I just never would have thought there'd be a fire there. But I guess maybe there's some material that is available that maybe it's catching fire, and obviously it's dry, right?
Well, is this related to how they say that our magnetosphere is weakening or something, and cosmic radiation is coming down and lighting fires like a magnifying glass or something? I foresee them saying something like that eventually, saying that, these fires are actually caused by a magnifying effect or something. I don't know. It sounds weird. I've never heard of zombie fires either, but apparently they exist. And then SETI. So we're going to talk about this. This is one of the main things that I wanted to talk about, because a lot of the stuff that is going around, obviously for years and years, a big group of people, and I'm talking millions of people, just like I told you, my uncle, who's in his 60s, said, oh, people don't believe. I said, you know how a lot of people don't believe that the moon, that we actually landed on it? And he's like, no. I said, no, there's millions. He's like, that's an exaggeration. I'm sure there's not that many. And I go, no, there's millions and millions. There's so many. I mean, they did a study at one point. It was like half of Americans don't think we landed, or 80% thought that there was something fishy about it, something like that. You guys can Google it and put it in the chat, and put the real survey results if you would like. Again, with this, people have been thinking that there's going to be some sort of false invasion, or that there's going to be a real invasion. We had a Muamua actually come by, and they said it was our first interstellar visitor. It was actually from outside of our galaxy. They said it had a orbit like nothing else, because we're on a plane. Everything goes in circles, supposedly. And this thing came in from top down and then zipped by. And the weirdest part about it, this thing was cigar-shaped, like many of the reports of UFOs. But not only that, it was gigantic. This thing actually sped up on its way out after it passed by Earth. It's kind of like, it's just right there in our faces, like obvious, like, that's what it seems like. It's like, okay, this has got to be something, right? Even, it was either Harvard, or it was it a Harvard professor, or was it one of Yale? Which, do you remember which professor said he was at an Ivy League school, a professor there with a huge reputation to uphold? He said that he believed it could be an actual spacecraft. He said it could actually be aliens. And that's a huge thing, because 20 years ago, you would never see that. You would never see somebody at Harvard, Yale, any of the Ivy League schools putting their name out there, even attached anywhere close to an alien. You would be laughed off of the professor board. I don't know if they have a professor board, but I have a feeling you can put thumbtacks in it. I don't know. But again, you would be the laughingstock of the school. Not anymore. Now people are more and more coming out and saying that they do believe that we have extraterrestrials out in there. Then we had a second interstellar visitor, all within the last like couple years. So people are definitely gearing up. You've got people like David Greer who have big followings, saying that they're getting ready for some false invasion. You've got people talking about Project Bluebeam, of course, where they would actually project something with satellites to make it, make us all think. People always go back to that Reagan clip that said, what if it was all of us? What if there was a force from outside of Earth that we all had to team up together, whatever. Basically, what if there was a force greater than Earth that we all had to set aside our differences and fight the enemy out in space? So people go back to that and they say, that they're setting us up for this grand kind of thing. There's Area 51. There's all this stuff that's happened over the years. There's also all of the secret space missions. Then there's the Space Force that was put into play just recently. And people are going, what the heck is this all really for? So again, it says researchers using China's new 500-meter aperture spherical radio telescope, aka FAST, real original, the largest single-dish scope in the world, are piecing together a technological strategy to carry out a major and sweeping search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI. It says, what if China someday announces that this hunt has been successful? How would such a claim be verified? And what might be the consequences? It says, and could official international SETI race already be underway? So that's what they're saying. They're saying that all of the countries are looking for it first. I don't know if this is something that a lot of people are talking about, how all of them are putting huge money into space. All of these different countries just in the last couple years, and especially, in fact, doesn't it seem like since Oumuamua came by that it like all ramped up like a lot? And then from before that, they were doing all of this, and then all of a sudden they went from not having a space program to basically ramping it up and doing everything to get up there. And it wasn't just us. It was our allies. It was our enemies. Everybody's trying to get to the moon. People are trying to put lasers on the moon. Russia, in fact, it wants to put a laser that would be an asteroid defense system. You've got China doing a laser system that could take out space trash. You've got us with the HAMMER, Hypervelocity Asteroid and Mitigation Emergency Response Vehicle, a nuke on a rocket. You've got all of the Didymos, the OSIRIS-REx, all of this stuff. So again, I just want to remind you, there is a ton of stuff that points to something is going on above our heads. You've got Elon Musk. It's unbelievable, the stuff that he tweets. He's actually tweeting about, look up to the skies, take the red pill, fight for your American rights. He says that all of this stuff, something's going on to take away. At the same time, people think he's an evil villain. Again, what do you guys think? I would love for you to call on this subject. If you've had any kind of weird thing happen to you, do you believe that we are going to be visited? Or do you think it's something else? Again, the number is 224-400-MARF. Or do you think that they are setting us up for kind of a one world type thing? Dex, on this next one, I was going to bring you in. It says, China's biggest base has huge replicas of Taiwan's presidential building and the Eiffel Tower. Why would they do that? Isn't that kind of weird to you?
It's extremely weird to me. It makes me wonder, is it for training purposes? Is it for just, chest thumping? Or, I don't know. It's probably more, there's probably something else going on there. It just seems because they're scale, right? They're large scale, and it is on a training site, a training facility.
So you, on top of the ghost cities where they've reproduced a lot of the big kind of, they've reproduced New York, they've reproduced Paris, they've reproduced the Cairo, they've reproduced Egypt, they've reproduced all of these different countries. Why are they doing this? And is this and look at this, this is an actual thing here. This is actually saying that look at the layout. That is Paris. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I mean that's really crazy. Like, who goes to that level? I mean, maybe you put together a mock if you're trying to do training because you're going to go, you've got a extraction team that's going into a specific building and you need to set it up because you want to run through some practice drills, right? That's what you would do, right? Now, why do they have these large scale models of other cities, of other places? And it's not like they're building it to have a destination. Like, we go to Vegas and we have the Eiffel Tower and we have, the New York skyline and these small amusement areas of these large casinos. That's for entertainment, right? But this is in a training facility. This is at a military base. And why do they need it? What are they doing it for? Is it, to create cool backdrops? I doubt it. It's probably something else. I mean, some of these pictures they've put together here are pretty intense, but, at the same time,
well, and it is it's quite scary. It says China has made a massive investment in modernizing its military over the better part of the past 3 decades and has established new and improved research and development and training bases to support those efforts. The People's Liberation Army has fully embraced the idea of utilizing highly realistic facilities to prepare its forces for the sorts of environments they would likely fight in. Look at this. They want to take out Europe. They want this. The conflict will happen. They have Spratly Island. They have all of these places, right? You're talking about a midway point to a United States. Xi Jinping has made himself president for the rest of his life. You've got Russia setting himself up to be the president for the next few years. They are teaming up on something. They were working with NK. They're doing something, and I know that people have all different thoughts about this. They even think that some of us are teamed up with it. I probably would. I'm sorry, but I think that some Americans are going to get a fat check and be safe when all this goes down, or get a letter or a text saying, hey, go to your spot, we're coming. I think something is going on, and that's what our military group thinks as well. There's at least 10 or 11 high-ranking retired and active people that think that we are getting set up for the ultimate fight. And who knows when this will be? That's the thing. People say, oh, you say it's going to be conflict all the time. No, we have no idea, and I hope it never happens. But if it does, we need to be prepared for it. Look at everything that's being set up right now. I mean, it's just nuts. What do you guys think? Do you think that we're going to be buddy-buddy? Look at how we're setting up the people. Look at how they're setting up our minds. We don't want China in anything, right? We don't. Do you think that they're setting this up so we could even be, bigger partners? They've taken their drones off the market. In fact, they might have even had a hand in how DJI lost that settlement with the patent office. I don't know. That's just a theory. But again, that was trying to get all DJI products out of America and not even sold here. And they're the leader in drones. Well, what they were saying is that some of these drones may be sending information back through their proprietary information in their apps back to China. And if that's the case, that means that they have spies all over our country. And by the way, we already know this. We've gone over this many times. They own a huge chunk of the surveillance system companies in our country. So they basically have surveillance in our entire country. And on top of that, now they have recreational and, you're talking about professional photographers going up in the sky and doing their work for them, supposedly. So think about it. All of the recreational drones that now can fly 10 miles, all the dummies that are flying over military bases, all the dummies that fly over airports, all of that information in high definition or 4K going back to China. It's kind of crazy, right? How many of the Chinese are flying drones that we have information on? Probably not many, because they got it on lockdown. Literally. What do you guys think? Do you think that they are setting us up for something grand? Do you think it's bigger than that? Do you think it's God? Do you think it's bigger than the entire world even knows? Obviously, there's the families that run the world, but the families that run the world, they get rich off of both sides. So they sit and in a set up position that they know is not going to be affected by anything, and they watch it all go down and help both sides and come out richer in the end. And they get their goals done, say reducing population, whatever it may be. Just saying, if you look through history, you'll see a lot of it has happened over and over and over. I don't think it's the end of all conflicts. It's not world peace yet, that's for damn sure. So, we'll see. And with all the alien stuff, people say that ties in. Now we are up in space. Maybe they're trying to set us up like that because we're actually going to be battling other countries up there. Who knows? It says Pompeo officially declares Hong Kong no longer autonomous and slams China intervention. So, saying that it's not separate anymore. It says Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Wednesday officially declared that Hong Kong is no longer autonomous from China. Days after Beijing moved to impose new national security legislation on the territory, Beijing's, quote, disastrous decision is only the latest in a series of actions that fundamentally undermine Hong Kong's autonomy and freedoms and China's own promises to the Hong Kong people under the Sino-British Joint Declaration. The UN-filed international treaty, Pompeo said in a statement. So he's saying that this is essentially over for them, that they're going to have to live by China's rules very soon here. So this is kind of the kickoff. He said the State Department is required to assess the territory's autonomy from China, and that on Wednesday, he certified to Congress that, quote, it does not continue to warrant treatment under United States laws in the same manner as U.S. laws were applied to Hong Kong before July 1997, when they were given back to China, sort of. No reasonable person can assert today that Hong Kong maintains a high degree of autonomy from China, given facts on the ground. So, again, it was actually called something. It's two governments under one rule, or something like that. It basically, Hong Kong had its separate set of rules, two rules, one government, or something. I don't know. You guys know it. They had different rules. So somebody from Hong Kong actually had different laws and different requirements than, say, somebody on mainland China. Because mainland China actually received Hong Kong back from their captors. Did the Brits give it back? Was it the Brits or was it India? I always get this part mixed up, especially when I'm live. Dex, do you know? In 1997, it was the British that gave it back? No.
It was the. Are you talking about Hong Kong?
Yes.
Yes, it was the Brits.
Okay, and they had it since like long.
Yeah, they had it
ago.
from what was it, the OP Wars, I believe, because they were trying to. It was trade coming through from India. It was like the major hub, and they sort of took it over, turned it into what ended up being the largest international hub of Asia. But it was really when I think they tried to do certain things in India. One of it was grow cotton, and it didn't work, and then they moved to the poppies, and then they figured that was a much more lucrative business.
So they had it in control for 156 years. So since 1741, I believe, or 1841. 1841 sounds about right, or 51. So that's a long time for it to be under a different rule. So, of course, they had different laws. They were kind of living under, Britain's more lax laws compared to China. And then when it was given back, they said that there was going to be a certain period where it adjusted and slowly brought Hong Kong back. Well, they're ahead of that, and they're saying, boom, now you're under our rule. And this is, of course, a lot because of the protests that just recently happened. China just also cut off all communications via video games. So people playing Animal Crossing or Call of Duty or any real game, they cannot no longer talk on their audio. They can't do gamer chat with other countries now. So China has taken a lot of steps to literally separate itself from the rest of the world. Meanwhile, you have Russia literally separating its internet, setting it up, passing a law real quick, saying we're going to make our internet completely, reliant on itself instead of on everybody else. So there's a lot of crazy stuff that is going on here. Real quick, I'm going to go over to D-Live, thank you. Reading the Gospel, Raymac 10, thank you for the Ninja Genie. I appreciate that. For all of the lemons, Rapture, Girl Now, Fixin' to Love Q, Green Ace 9, thank you guys. Head Like a Hole, thank you for the diamond. So much being done behind the scenes. Exactly. China may kick you while you're down, says Sly the Coffee. I believe that's what that meant. And then Greatest Love, thank you. Jojo A. Hunter, thank you for hosting. I'm sorry I didn't shout that out. I apologize. Thank you for hosting viewers there. And then Hot Wired Barb, thank you for being here again and again. Reading the Gospel again with an Ninja Genie. I appreciate that. Claire Bear, a.k.a. CFS69. Praying Planet Weird is getting weirder by the minute. That's absolutely correct. And again, we've covered a lot of this, and that's why I know a lot of this stuff is stuck in my head, and that's why it's hard to sleep for people. Anybody who's down this niche that actually goes and sees, most people are going to sleep. They just do not want to hit it. They keep hitting the snooze button, which actually it's funny because I turned off all my ringers, but that was my, I don't know if any of you guys have it, but I have, it's like extreme alarm, so you can't just press snooze. You have to do a math problem, but also it doesn't like show up. So you have to like go into your notifications, clear your notifications if you have a lot, then go into the thing, then do a math problem. And I sat there like 19 minus 16. I'm like, oh man. Sorry, I digress. Reading the Gospel, thank you again. Sly the Coffee, Red 1967, Angela 4110, thank you guys. I appreciate that. And let's see here. And Raymac 10, appreciate you guys. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for supporting broadcasts like this. It really is appreciated. Becky Phipps, your hair looks amazing. Well, thank my wife. I don't know if Mrs. Marf is in the chat right now, but she did it. So Tim Hahn, you should see the middle picture. That's the one that I really look terrified. Tim Hahn says, glad to see you're doing good, Adam. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. Troy O'Brien, thank you. You can always write something there. Dustin Westphalen says, I have been watching your 6-month video and how much you knew that happening now. It's crazy what is going on, and you knew it. So thank you. I've been watching since the beginning, and you are spot on things. Thank you, Adam and Dex. Dustin, look back at our pandemic videos. We literally, Dex, did we not say it was coming? We literally wrote it out in like.
Yeah, we were like it was early. It was like the first week in January. It was real early. We covered it like three odd times.
I'm talking about, we're talking about last year.
Yeah, like literally. And it had just mentioned, and we're like, no, this is coming. It's coming here, and it's going to hit us. And I remember going out and buying things just based on that. And I was like, oh yeah, we were right on. And it was not just us. A lot of other people told us the same thing, that they were able to get prepared.
Well, remember in December, you look back, go to Marfoogle TV and Marfoogle News. Go back to our December videos. We literally told you DARPA's preparing for something. DARPA's trying to get, just within 3 days, they need an underground facility. They need a biological suit that can basically survive any kind of evolution of virus. We told you that they were buying gas masks. We had truck drivers.
Adam, we got trolled so hard because we told people you needed gas masks back in September. We were telling people, this is what they are preparing for. We need to be doing this.
We only did one show.
Went off on us because of that.
We only did one show. We only did one show, and we got word that 40,000 gas masks were being shipped to one place, and that they said that this is just the tip of the iceberg. And we said, okay, well, and then what ended up happening is, did we do a link for a gas company, and they said that's stupid and this and that, and then 2 months later,
we were being polite. We put a link to find masks on Amazon. They're like, hey, you can go here and search. There's a whole bunch of them. Go find them. We didn't even partner with anybody on that. We didn't do anything specific. But yeah.
And we got trolled harder than anything else. For some reason, that triggered people. Like, people said, oh, gas masks, this and that. Maybe it's because prior YouTubers have taken advantage of that. I don't know. But we did that in September, and nobody listened to us. And then, of course, December, this all hit. And we knew it. And we're not trying to brag. We just knew. I mean, we have over 500 active and retired military. So all we say is, please keep an open mind about the things that are on here, because you really have to watch and read between the lines, because we can't just say things out and about. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here saying things at all. That's why we try to do the best we can. Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate that. NS Nutsack 909. Hey, Adam, have you tried to open a podcast on Spotify? That's going to be the new YT. You can honestly say whatever you like. Actually, that's a great idea. No, I haven't, and not yet, but we actually should do that.
It'll be interesting to see if they do video, because they're talking about doing it just for Joe. So I wonder if they'll expand that to other creators.
Yeah, and that's actually crazy. So we didn't talk about Joe Rogan getting that $100 million contract, but it honestly, it's like he was so fed up with that he ended up going over there. And that's a huge contract, but when you really think about did we ever find out how many years that is?
No, I'm assuming it's like a 3 or 4 year tops, maybe 5 year, but probably 3 or 4 years. But the interesting thing is when they announced it, Spotify's a public company. It increased their market cap and their stock price went up. It made them like $5 billion in a day. So It's a great deal for them. Give away $100 million and make $5 billion.
That's crazy. That's literally crazy. That's how many people watch that guy. I mean, that's nuts. Ryan Bardwell, thanks for all you do for liberty, and a thumbs up emoji. Thank you, Ryan, and I have never seen your name before, so it's nice meeting you. At least I don't think I have. Susan Donahue, thank you. By the way, Susan is a VIP. You don't have to ever do anything, and that's because you've been at every single show. Even if you've supported, but on the other hand, you are literally, I don't think I can remember the last time you missed a show, which is actually hard. Like, I've done shows that Dex didn't make it, and you made it. Like, I did a broadcast, and somehow you made it. So, thank you so much.
You made shows that you didn't make, Adam.
I know. She made your shows. Amazing.
She's better than you and me combined.
She literally is. So, thank you, Susan. Awesome. Thank you. Honestly, you have been one of our longest supporters and also our longest attendee. So, same with Ilea. True story. Again, thank you for being the last one out. Again, I loved your Star Trek story from yesterday. Appreciate that. And then DGL Nub, thank you for following. And Angie Peters, Adam, glad to have you back and well. Dex did an amazing job with the show. Big fan. I've been watching for 1.5 years now. Thanks for all you do. I'm down in Georgia with Dex, which is, again, sad about that whole argument. I don't even get into that stuff because you know that they are kind of weaponizing that. All right, guys. By the way, again, like we've told you with previous things, we only do things that we think are actually going to help or protect you, like the earthing and like EMP Shield. EMP Shield, a bit ago, we were actually worried that they were not going to be selling to consumers, but that is not going to happen. They got a huge contract with governmental agencies. They've worked with DOD, DHS, Department of Homeland Security is actually how we found them through the EMP Resilience Report, which then was sent to the president, and the president ended up doing that order to actually harden our entire grid because we are super, super open for everything. The EMP Shield essentially grounds the signal before it can fry your device. And if you want to protect yourself, you can get one of these wired into your house, your car. There's devices for all different types of things. In fact, solar, RV, motorcycle are some of the ones that people don't think about. Generator, your home. Again, you can even do this in certain apartments. You have to make sure you get approved or permission to do so. And then you can even do it in boats. So all of these things are things that would potentially die during a solar flare or, an actual natural one or an EMP. You can actually protect them from doing that if you get one of these. So again, solar flares up to 220,000 amps. 28,000 amps, and then all three phases of an EMP. You can go to marfugglenews.com/EMP, and then a portion of that also goes to support us here at the station. So thank you. All right, and then let's get back into it. Hong Kong.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
I apologize, but I just want to make sure. I may have missed it. There was a jet that flew by earlier. Did I miss the opportunity? Or did you see it?
No, I did not.
Okay, good. Then I'm glad I interrupted. So Tokimon Gaming.
Dude, okay.
He says tactical NUKE incoming.
Okay, do the sound.
And Ninja Jet. Oh, you want the sound?
Yes, I want the sound.
Okay.
And Tokumo from you and Gives a Minute. Okay, so Tokumo is a creator here. That is a huge deal. So I hope that absolutely everyone goes over to Tokumo Gaming. Tokumo Gaming has been a part of a ton of other channels. Gives a Minute actually has a Tokumo special. It's literally when you donate a Ninja a diamond, and a lemon. And if you do all three, then he does this like funky special, and that's because Tokumo did it. Tokumo is a global partner here, but not only that, he actually supports all of the other creators. For another small creator like myself to do that is a really big deal. So I just want to let everybody know, if you guys end up over on DLive, if you're watching from another platform, make sure to check out Tokumo Gaming. In fact, we'll put his link on our website. If you're into gaming, he's one of the most interesting. There's probably 4 or 5 that I don't even watch gaming, and I watch these guys. So make sure to check them out. Thank you, Tokumo. That's totally unnecessary. Super thank you. Stefan Diaz, glad you're feeling better. At Dex did a good job. And then Stefan, again, thank you, says 1 for Dex and 1 for the Mod Squad. You all rock. And Sly the Coffee. I bought a P100 because of that YT in October. So Sly the Coffee actually bought a P100 camera, which is the Super Zoom, I believe. I think I'm right. Just like RE55, because of the October event from YouTube. That's pretty cool. So from that video. End Times, and I apologize if I missed you, but it looks like you did a Tokumo of some sort. End Times, thank you for the diamonds, and thank you for everything else. Research helium-2 energy source on the moon, says Patrioto Mad. Helium-2 energy source on the moon. So I guess that's another thing that they're trying to get money off of the moon. Maybe I wonder if you're saying that that's why they are trying to get there so fast. Friday yet, love the show. XO, I'm in Georgia too, says Moxie Lady. And then Tokumo Gaming. So that is pretty freaking crazy. So thank you, Tokumo. I think if you do a Jet, Ninja Genie, and everything else, that's going to be called the Tokumo. All right. Again, just to hit a small part of this is a big deal because this could drag us into a conflict. It could actually drag us into it. And I say us because most of you are in an allied country. So even if you're in Europe, if you're in Australia, if you're watching this, you are probably in a place that will be affected if we get involved, which of course, there's been 1,000 different events where they think we're going to be pulled in or this or that. It's really down to the odds of it. How many of these things are happening? Look at the clock of doom, or whatever they call it, the apocalypse clock, or what? Dex, I always get this wrong. The end of the world clock, the doom clock,
You're close. It's the doomsday clock.
Doomsday clock. That's right. I don't know how I always forget that. The doomsday clock is actual scientists all over the world. In fact, I'll just Google the look on this because I'm trying to make a point here. Because it's a real thing, and this is something that has been a lot of experts, professors, and scientists around the world take all of the events that are happening right now in the world as we speak, and they put it in. It says the doomsday clock is a symbol that represents the likelihood of a man-made global catastrophe maintained since 1947 by the members of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. Doesn't that sound like, if you met a guy that was an atomic scientist at the bar, you'd probably think, yeah, this guy's too smart. The clock is a metaphor for threats to humanity and unchecked scientific and technical advances. So this, again, has come different places. In fact, I wonder if we can see this photo. It has come to separate times in history where it's gotten closer to midnight. And just recently, we got the closest ever. This is a picture up until 2018, which I'll tell you, 2019, I believe we got 30 seconds from, or 1 minute from. This is, again, the different times. Yes.
In 2018 and 2019, we were 2 minutes to midnight, but then in 2020, we were 100 seconds.
So that's a minute and a half, right? That's just crazy. I don't even know how they break that down.
Yeah, they shaved off 20 seconds, I guess, really, because they went from 2 minutes to 100 seconds, right? So that's
30 seconds closer.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny how they do that, because it's like, really, they can't say we're at midnight, because that would be the end of the world. But we're pretty much like, almost there by man-made events. So if you see 1981, we were 4 minutes from disaster. 2017, 1953, and 2018, we got into the 2 minute range. 1953, what was that? That was WW2. The Cuban Missile Crisis, they put us out. Why were we not closer for the Cuban Missile Crisis, though? That's what I don't get. When was that? 1969? I'm not good. I'm not a genius here. Soviets first. U.S.-Soviet relations reach lowest point. So that would be 1984.
I think Cuban Missile Crisis was 62.
I was thinking 69 in my head, but
between 60 and 63, we went from 7 to 12 minutes. So yeah, seven would have been in the 60s.
So okay. So 1953 was the U.S. testing the first hydrogen bomb, and atomic scientists took that and said, we are the closest to a man-made disaster that we've ever been, or at least that was up until then. 2018, of course. Wow, 2015, they actually said climate change and nuclear concerns. That's nuts. So again, it's not something that's absolute. They could put it at 5 seconds too. Doesn't really mean anything unless it happens. Africa's magnetic anomaly hit again, 6.1 in Africa, in Central Africa. So what we are seeing too is all of this weird seismic activity, and we're going to be covering that over the next week. I wanted to fit in some earthquake stuff. Again, I have reached out many times. Dutch Sense is like a celebrity in this niche. He's kind of unreachable or untouchable. But I would love to have him on and have him talk about some of the stuff that's going on. That man, we talked to somebody, and we can't really disclose much, but it sounds like there might be proof in the near future that they are actually holding that man back. I mean, I know he says it and everything else, but I'm saying something that would be public. Like Dutch Sense, what he does is watched by the highest of governments. Is that nuts? And they can't publicly say it, and they make him look crazy. I know people have different opinions. Most of my crowd love Dutch Sense. I've always loved Dutch Sense and all of his content. He was kind of a groundbreaker for, what people did on YouTube. I know that people have taken after him. As far as some of the stuff that he has provided, he has actually saved lives. Just so you guys know that. There are actual people that say they owe their life to Dutch Sense. So again, I've always repped him as much as I can. We actually rotate his link on every single show. That's how much I believe in Dutch Sense. But again, a lot of the stuff that happens is nuts. Virus apps expose tension between privacy and the need for data. It says, as more governments turn to tracing apps in the fight against the CV, a deep-rooted tension between the need for public health information and privacy rights has been thrust into the spotlight. Track and trace technology is being touted as a silver bullet that will allow economies to reopen and people to emerge from home confinement, with health authorities keeping tabs on the virus's spread. But many fear personal data gathered by the governments or companies in the name of the control of this will be abused by political or commercial gain or outright oppression in authoritarian states. It says, quote, if we are not careful, the epidemic might mark an important watershed in the history of surveillance. Let me just pull that apart. That word might should just be taken out. It is marking an important watershed in history of surveillance, says historian Yuval Noah Harari. Again, this is something that is literally kicking in everywhere we go. And no matter what side you're on, whatever you think about the virus, the fact is we're going to be covering what's going to change, the physical changes and the laws that are physically changing because of this virus. So make sure to follow. Again, if you're over on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. A lot of you may have been unsubscribed. All right, to go into that, I would love to hear some calls. How do you think it's going to end up? How do you think it's going to get further into it? Smart Kid 14, thank you again, Cha Money, and Chowaka Chikawowski says war is coming. Marf Tradamus says Cha Money. Venus comes to its final descent on June 6th. Love, says Divine 1122. Head like a hole. Thank you, T. Bori and Heron now. Auntie M, I appreciate you and fixing to love Q. Thomas the Fam. Another thing about Q, I have been back and forth on a lot of stuff, but man, it seems like there are some real indictments that are actually pulling out, and I bet you there's a lot of people that are kind of flip-flopping right now. Everybody has a view on it. I'm not saying... I've always been pretty clear on my views on it. I followed up until the first trip code change. I think in general, it's good to have the entire world actually looking in deep and researching themselves. That's what I would say I would encourage. You guys do your own research on this. There was a new video that came out on Netflix that talks about, it's called Filthy Rich, and it talks about the EpiPen guy that just somehow got knocked off in a jail while being under federal watch. Who knows why? It's not like he's friends with princes and royal families and things like that. And I believe that actually the one thing that is true that everybody can pull out of that is I think that a lot of people are about to take a fall. But does that mean we're in good hands, that everything is going well? That's what I don't believe. I think that there is something way bigger coming, and it's coming soon. Tokomo Gaming, I'm addicted. So, thanks, Tokomo. And by the way, I'm going to make sure, and I always pass it off to Gives a Minute too. Gives a Minute is another of my favorite creators here. That guy is one of the hardest working creators / streamers here. Every single notification he has an action for. It's absolutely nuts. All right, and then we've got some Fort Worth ISD students to return to elementary schools next week. So people are pulling back into schools. What is weird to me is that they said that they were going to cancel school altogether. Then they said, no, now you're required to do this. Of course, I'm affected because I have 3 kids. And one of them has to do check-ins every couple days or so and actually do it on a laptop. Well, can you explain this, Dex, as far as the Fort Worth ISD students? If you are not on the phone, of course.
Hey, I'm back. What can I help you with? I'm sorry.
Some Fort Worth ISD students, or I don't want to say ISD students to return to elementary school.
Well, I mean, this is one of the first I guess I'm hearing of here where schools are opening. I mean, they didn't open where I'm at, and they didn't open where you are, right?
No, just digital.
Yeah. So I guess here they're actually going back to doing classrooms. So it's kind of interesting to see what's happening here and how, somebody's got to do it first, right? We got to see how it pans out. And, there's all the guidelines that came out 2 weeks ago from, CDC about how to operate a school, and to see somebody actually doing it is kind of interesting.
Now, can I, the one thing about this too is, Georgia, is there somebody there's the Georgia Guidestones. Who lives there? Are there some very rich people there? I mean, do you guys have some? It is in the middle.
It's in the middle of absolutely nowhere. It's like there's nothing there.
Not so much the Georgia Guidestones. And what he's talking about, the Georgia Guidestones are literally in the middle of nowhere. But as far as Georgia as a state, do you guys we have Washington has Bill Gates. We've got the home of Coke and Home Depot, and there's a lot of the Koch
UPS.
brothers.
There's some big companies here. There's some big money here. There's some famous people. There's plenty of famous people here. There's some money in the city. A lot of it's in the city.
Is that partly too because I don't know if you guys know this, but you actually can get a write-off or some sort of huge discount if you do movies in
the movie and gaming industry. We did something like a $5 million tax credit. So if you come here and film in Georgia and make a video or film based off of that, and it's for television or the movies or the video game industry, then you can get a $5 million tax credit, which as a creator doesn't do you any good, but you turn around and you take that credit and you sell it to a big company like, Coke or Georgia Pacific, who will be glad to buy it for $4.5 million and make $500,000 off of it.
You can actually buy a tax credit like that?
Yeah, they're transferable. That's how it works. That's how they were able to do it. So you come in, you get one, you turn around and you sell it off to somebody.
That sounds like a fraudulent transaction. That literally sounds like you're gypping the system there.
Well, it's just instead of them creating cash, the way they can create cash without coming up with dollar bills is to come up with tax credit. Tax credit's good enough as cash, so they just make it transferable, so they don't have to give you cash. They don't have to give you $5 million.
Well, so again, a total of about 300 students are expected to be at 4 different locations, and it says most of them are bilingual or English as a second language students, again, who the district determined would benefit from a learning environment difficult to create outside of the classroom. So, again, that ties into it too. So, they would be totally out in the cold if they didn't have that. All right, let's see here. Okay, T-Man threatens to close down social media platforms that silence conservatives. Now, we are very neutral, but at the same time, we cover a lot of subjects. I have my personal opinions, of course. I think that this is absolutely amazing. I don't think anybody who's really against it doesn't understand until it's done to them. Like if it was the other way around, either side, if you want to call it that, they're being silenced. And what's crazy is it's really a one-sided argument. It says President DT has threatened to close down social media outlets he claims that are, quote, silencing conservative voices. Later in the day, the president locked in a growing feud with social media giant Twitter, teased big action to follow. In a pair of morning tweets, T-Man says, Republicans feel that social media platforms totally silence conservative voices. We will strongly regulate or close them down before we can ever allow this to happen. It says, quote, we saw what they attempted to do and failed in 2016. We can't let a more sophisticated version of that happen again. It says, just like we can't let large-scale mail-in ballots take root in our country. It would be a free-for-all on cheating, forgery, and the theft of ballots. Whoever cheated the most would win. Likewise, social media. Clean up your act now. So he's mainly talking to not only Twitter, but YT, saying that, a lot of the biggest people and some of his biggest supporters have come out and said that they have been silenced, they have been taken down, they have been deleted. I understand what's even crazy. If you are completely neutral, like I have friends like Kristar that does paranormal stuff. And if she has to go to a location that is, say, has a dark history, right? Say they're talking about something. Now YT has rolled it out to the entire platform where you actually have to, if you mention a bang bang, you have to actually say it in your self kind of rating of your channel. Basically, if you say anything above what a third grader would talk about, then you will be not suitable for all advertisers. The problem with that is that if you are third grade stuff, then you might be considered kids content and not actually, you're basically, then you're in compa territory, and then you can't have notifications, you can't have this, you can't have that. So it's really squeezing people in and scaring a lot of people, because how it works is you can just get knocked off like that. You can get 3 strikes, you're out, like it's nothing. And people are getting really irritated with it. I myself have dealt a lot with it. We've never actually had a serious problem other than one copyright, and it wasn't from YT. And then one a long time ago on my other channel on Marfoogle News, we had a a violation because I said, FF, I'm on the wagon. And I literally wrote it out. I said, I'm on the FF wagon. And man, oh man, they did not like that. And my video was at 350,000 views before it got taken down. It was one of the first that had that kid from Park Boop 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 Land, basically rerunning his quotes, and he was trying to do it again for the news. I said, I was on this wagon. Boom, took me out, and doesn't even tell me anything. There are so many that are having this happen at the same time, but they're not even in the kind of thing that you would think. You're talking about, I saw a Lego channel that actually got marked as adult because he said something about a certain city. He said that city name, and because of an event that was pulled and kind of marked out by Google, he actually got his video wrongly taken down. But they, of course, rightly put it back up. So with everything that's going on with CV, we are ultra careful because we don't know if a human's going to be able to be there to review the damn thing. Tokomo says, I only support those who supports others. Much love. You deserve it, Marf. No problem. I agree on gives a minute. Love again. Again, I don't think there's very many creators other than Crazy Keith, and I can't even name. I've never seen anybody do a ninjet to another creator here other than myself and a few others like Crazy Keith and a couple others. I've only given out 2 ninjets, so that's pretty special, man. That seriously means a lot. James 89, Apego, Hard Bear, Jojo A123, Angela 4110. Thank you guys for your support. Just a Cat Mom, Serenity PA, Thomas the Fam, here and now. Thank you guys for all being here. All right, so let's see here. We're going to get into the next section of this. If you guys want to support us in a different way, of course, you can end up supporting us through earthing. This is an actual product that you would put on your bed. You can put it on your desk. There's many different mats. What they do is they actually ground you. It's something that is really cool because it now has 25 medical studies behind it. This is something people have been doing for 25, 30, 40 years, long as I've been alive. And longer than that. What it is that we are just like our appliances. Our hearts are electric. Our brains are electric. Our nervous system is electricity. So why are we not grounded? Well, for whatever reason, we separated ourselves from the earth a long time ago, and we even put rubber soles on, which is great for lightning strikes, but it's not good for our natural body. When you are connected with earth, there's a physical difference. It actually helps with inflammation, helps with all of this. I guess the main point is earthing has all sorts of different products that you can use. They have patches, they have this, that. The one I use is the bed mat, so it goes underneath my sheet. It actually feels cool. Like if you have a thin sheet, it actually feels like one of those cooled pillows. It doesn't do anything. You can't feel it until you wake up and you realize that you had an amazing sleep. It also gets you in a natural cycle. This I actually talk about mostly because this has helped me through all of my health issues. I had serious health issues, and even when I slept on the recliner when I was really hurt and I kept getting up to, basically be sick, I would put this on the recliner and plug it in. That is how much this is, I literally use this every single night. And I think it's why I made a recovery instead of 3-4 weeks like other people said in about a week and a half. So again, I give a lot of credit to these guys. Go to marfooglenews.com/earthing if you want to support us and get an awesome product. Otherwise, again, go around us and get these things without us. They're really awesome. Okay. Dex, if you want to introduce
Adam,
our first caller.
Hang on a second. Did you miss the airplane video, or did I miss it because I was on the phone?
No, I did not get a video. So let me see. I might have not loaded it.
Oh, okay.
Let's
and don't
see.
worry about it. I'll put it up next. Maybe you can in the screen, and we can do it later. There was one where the Russian jets intercepted a P-8, and they actually filmed it from the P-8. Kind of interesting.
Well, if you put the link in up next, I'll just end up playing it off of Dropbox. Oh wait! No, I got it right here. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, let's watch this. So, can you explain the video before we play this?
Yeah, certainly. So 2 Russian fighters, they actually make what is referred to as an unsafe intercept of a Navy P-8A over I think it was the Eastern Mediterranean. So the pilots flew in an unsafe professional manner while intercepting the U.S. Navy Poseidon Maritime Patrol. And the reconnaissance aircraft actually filmed it. And so there's some of this footage that I have in this video that I guess it came from the Navy. Shows just how close these jets came on both sides of the plane. They got really close, really unsafe. I mean, they could pull up alongside and say, like, what are you doing here? Do you need to be here? Like that kind of thing. But they got real close.
So let me play this and show you exactly what Dex is talking about. Whoa. Okay, so they're like escorting this guy.
Yeah, escorting the tips of the wings.
Hold on, let me see. Wow. Oh my gosh, you can see the guys in the cockpit. Holy moly. Oh, sorry guys, I totally screwed that up. Look at that. Look at that. You can make out his, I mean, if he didn't have his mask on, you could literally be like, hey, that's Todd. Oh, there's Steve. Nah, probably more like a Chad. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a Chad or a Steve? Well,
Isn't it more like a Boris?
Oh, you're totally right. You are totally right. I don't know. I think, what are you talking about, Dex? Do you not have the 1992 most popular Russian names book on your coffee table?
Yeah, I was just reading it this morning. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Chads and Steves are everywhere. Okay. All right, let's continue. Oh, by the way, did anybody get the joke on the title today? SETI or forget it. Or set it and forget it. SETI and forget it. SETI and forget it. Sorry, I'm having a problem talking. Manny P says his name is Drago. Drago, that's it. You might have some inside knowledge. Manny.
Oh, you know what? This is the same plane we reported on. This is just a different area. Do you remember we reported on these P-8s flying in the South China Sea, right?
Oh.
And they had that weird device on it where they were some sort of new technology that was pretty much took up the whole fuselage, right? I wonder if this plane also had that, and maybe they were just trying to get a really close look.
Oh, you're right. I remember that. They had like something strapped onto the bottom. That was a weird looking thing, wasn't it? Didn't it look like just a big tube or something like that? It was something really weird.
Yeah, I mean, didn't look like China would use a telephoto lens on the ground with a camera, but Russians would take a plane up and like get right next to it and take a look, right?
Yeah, and then like crash a truck in front of it or something. Sly the Coffee says, Marf, is that chocolate milk that you were drinking? No, it's actually decaf coffee. Which sucks because I really, really, really love coffee. I'm on a 5 jets total now, XD. So you've done 5 jets to people. That's crazy. I've only done 2, I believe, but that number will soon to be go up. Texas Rob 49, stuck at work, will watch later. Thanks, Marf and Dex. Texas Rob, thank you for watching us at work, but don't get fired because you need that job. Especially now. Jackson, Hotwired Barb, Apego Hardbear. And then we've got Trinity, Red Pill or Blue Pill, Hi-Ho, Comet the Frog here. Comet the Frog. Time was created by latitude, Galileo positions of the sun, moon, planets, and other astronomical data with the electromagnetic atmosphere and poles. Equals Doomsday Clock, Antarctica, retracted neutrinos. If you want to know about neutrinos, Trinity goes into like the whole 9 yards on that in her videos. Make sure to click, well, I guess over here, you can't click on anybody's icon anymore. But her link and many others are cycled through in our chat. So make sure to put Trinity's JStone78 or West Virginia or any of our mods. Please put Trinity's link in the chat. Remote Chris, haha, Vlad, Chad. That's a good point. Vlad is not that different from Chad. Ouija713, thank you. Weston, thank you for following Ouija. And then Destin Weston. I'm done. Dustin Westphalen, you're the reason I got a gas mask for all of my family members 6 months ago and got ready. Thank you guys. You woke me up a year ago now. That's awesome, Dustin. And honestly, I mean, it's really cool to have people say that. So thank you. John Raxness, Philadelphia has a ton of military trucks in my area. John, crazy. That is a $50 super chat, John. You don't have to do that much, but thank you for your generosity. Again, but what is the deal with Philadelphia? Is do you guys have the same thing? Do you, if you're in Philadelphia or any state and you see something that's unusual, remember to call us at 224-400-MARF. Mark Hall and Angie Peters, thank you guys. Mark Hall, you can always write something with that. And then Angie says, Adam, glad to have you back and well. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get into it. Dex, can you introduce the first caller, please?
Yeah, certainly, Adam. First up, we have Bigfoot Lady and Mike. So Bigfoot Lady and Mike, you are live on Marfoogle TV.
What's going on? Bigfoot
Hi,
with
Adam.
Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know how you're always talking about Cheyenne Mountain, and I've actually been inside of it. And it's amazing.
Okay, so can you explain why were you there?
Well, I used to be in aerospace, and between my husband and I, we have stuff all over outer space. He actually has stuff on the moon.
Well, go ahead and explain.
Cheyenne Mountain has a lake in it, actually, and they have vehicles in there. They drive big vehicles inside. They have lakes in there. They have their own water supply, and they have these big doors that'll shut if we're ever invaded. They have their own store in there.
They have everything.
They have their own
McDonald's.
They have everything you'd ever want.
So
small city.
It's a small city.
So you guys, I know somebody who's personally been in there and showed me some pen video. He had a pen camera, and he ended up. We were not able to end up doing this. Okay, so this is actually kind of crazy. When I first started my channel, a guy contacted me and said that he was one of the underground tunnel drivers. And at first I didn't believe him. Obviously, like I got a lot of weird calls in the beginning and didn't know who was who, and I was just starting out. But this gentleman basically told me how this system works. So, and I'll kind of give you guys a visual here so you guys can see. So the tunnel like this, so say at Cheyenne Mountain, this is not the only entrance. Yeah. Apparently there's entrances all over the country. Right. There's tunnels all over. Well, when they would go in, they were all ex-military. The only truck drivers that were allowed in, or at least in his kind of wing of people, they would actually be, at the beginning of it, they would take their cell phones out, they would put it in a magnetic lockbox on the back of the truck that they would have a key for at that end, and then the other end would have another key to open it and give him his belongings back. So they would actually check them to make sure they didn't have anything, they didn't have any kind of cameras or anything like that. And then he said underneath that you get paid extremely well. This gentleman's house, he did Skype and showed me he had, just a beautiful house with said he was getting anywhere from 300 to 450,000 depending on the routes that he would do, and that it was a select group and you had to have experience. Well, again, these tunnels, he said that there was McDonald's with military uniformed people working them, Starbucks. Basically, Starbucks has done contracts with them and has these booths, so you could get Starbucks, but it would be a uniformed officer at the actual Starbucks giving you your food. He said that there's grocery stores, so you've seen some of this.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's really something else inside there. And then when you think about all the mountain that's up above you, it's pretty amazing, the engineering that went into this place.
Well, it's creepy at the same time.
It's pretty fascinating.
When you go into that into the tunnel, look at it, it's like a U shape. And if there's ever an attack, the impact would be in the middle of that U shape. Well, the entrance is probably a third of the way in, so the impact is not at the entrance. And all the buildings that's inside of that are sitting on giant coil springs, so if it does rock.
So one question about the Cheyenne Mountain, because the Cheyenne Mountain is where NORAD is actually located as well, where basically we would run our country through a nuclear fallout. I mean, they could bomb the heck out of us, kill everything on the surface, and they could live in this mountain indefinitely. They have supplies enough to live just for 100 years. They could actually start an entire community down there. They could restart the world from down there. And so the reason why we've talked about this recently is, do you guys think that there's more people in there than you think? They now have all of the military leaders in there right now. Why? They still haven't said that they've come out.
It's a city. It's a city inside of there. It's a regular city.
Yeah, they took us on a tour. We got to go up in where you could see the satellites going around the world, and there's so many people that are in charge. There's one Canadian that's in charge one day whenever it's his turn, because the Canada is in with them on NORAD. And we were watching it, and he said that Soros satellite, this is back in the 80s when we went in there. So things has a lot of change. But we got to talk to the man in charge. They had a lot of the stuff covered up where you couldn't see it. And it's interesting.
Now, why did
it totally can be self-contained.
Mike, can I ask you, so did you have military friends that kind of brought you in, or was this something that they used to offer, or?
We had clearances.
We used to do a lot of secret work, and we actually were invited to go one time on a tour. We even took our kids with us. And, of course, we had an armed guard with us the whole time.
Wait, and can I ask you don't have to say exactly, but were you in construction or something like that, or? We were
in aerospace.
Oh, okay,
aerospace,
that's right.
The company in Boulder, Colorado.
Okay,
we worked on the shuttle and rockets and stuff like that.
Wow, so that's amazing.
I was
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm an inspector. I'm retired now, but I've inspected a lot of stuff that's on the space shuttle, the actuators that holds the spacecraft in the Bay Area. We did the star tracker system that actually keeps it oriented in space. It locks on the star, and it keeps it from turning around and moving.
That is fascinating.
I did that for a long time at the same company.
Gosh, that's
But I'm so
cool.
glad that we're back in the space
program.
I think that Mr. T did the right thing.
So I have another question for you guys. And I can't imagine, the change from the 80s to now, what Cheyenne Mountain must look like inside. I'm sure there's a lot of it that's the same, but the technology is probably just completely different. Would you be uncomfortable living there, though? Like, if everything went down and they had to live in there, would you be uncomfortable, or would you be comfortable living in there?
Probably be comfortable. They even have a lake in there underneath it. It's got a lake that's full of water. It's fully self-contained. I don't know. We were told they could survive for 3 months, but I'm sure it's longer than that now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow, that is incredible.
No,
Incredibly.
Very comfortable.
Well,
very comfortable.
You guys, I would love to talk to you off camera too. I love to hear couples call in, but let alone very experienced couples. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for calling in. Is there anything else that you want to bring up before you go?
We're glad you're well and got over that.
Yeah, I just got out of the hospital with very similar symptoms. I was sick, very sick with GI trouble too.
It's scary because you can't see it. If you have a cut, you know if it's healing or not. But if it's inside, you don't. You don't know if. And then if you have a pain, it's like it's really scary. If it goes to the wrong side, then you're gonna die. It's scary. Well, I appreciate you guys, and I'd love to have you call in again, please. I'm sure you guys have some really cool stories. All right, well, nice meeting you, Mike.
Okay, you take care, guys.
All right, thank you so much for the well wishes.
Nice meeting you too.
All right, God bless you. All right, and then Dex, if you want to bring in the next caller, I'll kind of shoot you out here. It looks like Cole Cracker is up next, and talking about U.S. and China nearing the brink of a new cold conflict. All right, Cole Cracker, you're live.
How you doing, Adam?
Good. So you're calling from Pennsylvania here, and you want to talk about the something here. I don't know
if you're able to play. It's only a 1 minute and 32-second clip. It's actually it's the Chinese foreign minister Wang Yi. He's speaking in terms of against the United States and how he knows or they know or expect what the implications are and what is going on. I mean, you don't have to physically play it, but if you could just read some of the stuff in there, what they think or what they know and what the intent or the threat is, it's right there. A minute and 32 seconds. Now that's just them.
So what we're going to do is because of who provides it, I know that they are really bad about copyrights. But what we'll do is we'll end up linking this, and I'll try to get a solid freeze frame on this. Let's see here.
Okay.
So
yeah, Adam, you could probably read the subtext on it because it's just a couple clips. You'll see it, and that's what I think you may be able to pull off there.
Okay, so 132. Let's see here.
He's actually speaking in Chinese anyway, so.
Well, algorithms speak it too. Those guys are just jerks.
Yeah.
So what was the time?
Right.
What was the timestamp? 32 seconds.
No, the whole clip is just 1 minute and 32 seconds.
Oh, okay, I get you. Okay, so let me try to play the bottom half of it so people can read it.
Yeah, that's pretty much where the descriptive is. The narrative, I mean, it's in the end where.
Okay, so it says, to our regret, in addition to the raging new CV, political virus is also spreading in the U.S., which is to take every chance to attack and discredit China. Let's see here. And again, this is them. Some U.S. politicians, regardless of basic facts, have fabricated too many lies and plotted too many conspiracies. Whoa. Now we must be vigilant against the fact that some U.S. political forces are hijacking the bilateral relations. Yeah, this is some stuff that they'll look for in an attempt to push the relations of the so-called new cold conflict. Wow.
Yes. That was my point. And if people, yes, I just wanted that to get out there so people can see what they're talking about as well, because we only hear what we hear from our country. It's good to open up and get into different countries and see what they're actually talking about us and saying what's going on. It's going back and forth. We're pushing the blame, they're pushing the blame. Regardless, something may come of this, and it's pretty much they're saying it too.
So both sides are saying that we are getting to the hot point, and so that's never good.
Sure.
And that's what we have to pay attention to, and that's why I've told everybody to start preparing for absolutely anything. And I mean the unexpected, the completely fictional fantasy world of Red Dawn scenario type things. Let's see here. Well, just make sure that I'm not playing that. That's actually how we got it last time. Is we were actually talking about a video that didn't get us the thing, and the autoplay started playing, and somebody else's clip was playing for 5 minutes. I never would make that kind of mistake nowadays. But anyways, and they got us 2 years later. I just couldn't believe that. But
wow.
So as far as, you know, I would love for people like you to keep watching other sides of it, because there's only a few of us here at Marfoogle News. It really takes the whole Foogle family watching these things and trying to send them into us, because we have to monitor Australia, Europe, we have to monitor China, Russia, everything that they're doing all at the same time. So it helps with you guys really bringing in this really good information.
Yeah, and there's one more thing I just wanted to. I mean, as far as that goes with that, just with our food shortages and everything from the CV, they're actually looking and saying that now there's a potential for us to go into a Great Depression again, a new age of that because of it. So sorry, I have my daughter here trying to.
And then
the potty.
You also wanted to talk about the President T-Man.
Go ahead, Adam.
The President T-Man executive order. I have an article.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to touch on. That is, he's actually going to sign an executive order tomorrow, Thursday, and it's on the focused on the social media. But more or less, he's just saying he would like to regulate or close down social media companies he perceives as censoring conservative voices. So that's what he's going to go after. That's pretty much what it's going to be, the main focus on it, but no one's talking about it. They don't know what it is or what, but they keep an eye open for that, definitely. Wow,
this would be, people have been saying, please, T-Man, do something because it is so one-sided. So that would be pretty crazy. Well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Hopefully it don't backfire.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. It will affect us all, and then nobody can put out anything. Coal Cracker, it's always appreciated to have you call in. Thank you, and please call again, okay?
Anytime. Thank you.
Michelle K says at Channel Jammer, lots of love. Block Conflict says Juan Otero. Duckahawk, what is going on? Kid Scorpion. Jin Gaming, Bobby Broadway, what's going on? Angela, Chance Paladin, Marfool's Gold, Twyla, Rachel Me, 3 more, Judy 44. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. I don't see a lot of these names, especially a lot of them don't stick around for the shoutro, so I don't get to meet you. That is another part of the shoutro that I end up, I get to know who's here. That's another part of it. It keeps us close, I think. And it's fun. Okay, so Deck, could you bring in our next caller, please? Which looks like is Pagan 11.
Sure. Yeah, Adam. Next up is 11 Pagan 11. 11 Pagan 11, you are live.
Hey, Adam. How's it going? Hey, everybody.
Hey, Pagan. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. The bigger question is how are you feeling?
I'm actually really good. I've had a couple little things here and there, but had some complications and then ended up going in to get it IV antibiotic, and it got me past that. So now I'm really good. Thank you. And I believe it's partly because everybody just sending all their thoughts and positive prayers and everything. So thank you. Again.
Oh, yeah.
Pagan 11, Pagan 11 is a regular caller, but also a regular creator. You've been creating videos for a long time now too. President T-Man, I brought up this, hold on here. Let me bring up the other one. You actually have, you wanted to talk about the zombie fires. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, I wanted to talk about the zombie fires, and then also while you were away, the show that you guys did, well, Dex filled in for you about what was under the desert after we had that big 6.5 on the California-Nevada border about a week ago now, I think it was.
Okay, so not the main ridge crest. You're talking about a one that just happened recently.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one that just happened maybe a week ago. I don't know what they named the quake, but it was basically on the border of California and Nevada, out in the desert of Nevada there. Just kind of close to Area 51, actually.
So what do you think it is? Do you think that they're doing something weird? And then again, they just said that they were going to test nuclear weapons again for the first time since, I want to say, the 80s. Do you believe they ever stopped? I mean, I think they're just secretly doing it.
I don't think they ever stopped. I mean, why would they?
Why? That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody else is going to keep testing and keep advancing, and then we're going to stop. I mean, they just don't make this stuff public. That's why nobody believes anything, is because you just can't believe really anything. It's just crazy.
Yeah, no, and they're out there in the middle of nowhere, and they're setting these things off, and you know, some of them are being taken as quarry blasts or mini earthquakes, but they're happening out there, and they have everything so secured, so far away, before you can even get to those sites that there's no way, for us to go out there and listen to for ourselves what's going on. But they're doing it. There's no reason to stop. They even let other countries come over and bomb out there.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's crazy. They let Britain do it. They let a bunch of other countries do it.
I wonder what that has, if that has an effect on us.
Do what, hon?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, honey. I had a hard time hearing what you said.
It's okay. I think there's a bit of a delay, so I'll just let you go, and then just let me know when you're done.
Oh, I was just going to say that the reason that the big quake happened and stuff was because these magma plumes that you've got there up on the screen, they're moving, and they're moving now more to the northeast. And looking at, there you go, okay, looking at the picture, arm 2 that goes basically kind of off, it kind of corners off California and Nevada over there, arm 2. Just right there you go, hon. That arm 2 over here of 2A has started to move now more towards the east and up, it's going up to the north and to the northeast, and it's pushing into that other one. Well, these quakes are happening because all this magma is on the move. And when this magma moves, take a half bottle of soda, if you will, and you turn it on its side, and you swish it one way, well, it hits the edge of the soda, and then it's got to come back and go the other way. Well, that's exactly what's happening with that magma. And the reason we're getting these big quakes is because the magma horns are starting to fill in because, the magma has come in through, and it's hit now. We had that big quake a week ago. So the magma is now flowing up towards the north. And we just had a quake maybe 15, 20 minutes ago south of me in Oildale. So the magma is heading up north. And once it hits the end of that border there, it's going to coalesce and it's going to come back. And so whenever it's on its way back, we're going to have another big quake. And we're going to have another big quake along that area there of Arm 2 where the line is, where it basically goes through where it says Arm 2. We're going to have another big quake in that area. And that was just the answer to the question of to what's under the desert, what's out there. This big quake is right up there with the big Ridgecrest quake we had almost a year ago.
So quakes, again,
they are.
This is
not
Tonopah.
A coincidence.
The Tonopah, Nevada quake.
They're because of each other.
Yeah. So if I can, I know it's delayed a little bit, but so with Tonopah, and what this is saying is, because the experts are baffled by the 6.5 that is in a completely weird place. Again, just a month ago, it seems like every 3 weeks we're having a weird earthquake. There had Ohio, and then we had Idaho, and then we had what was the other one? I'm trying to think of it. It was Montana? It was just these weird, and they're all 6.0 plus earthquakes. This is a big earthquake. That's huge. In fact, a 6.5 like this would destroy parts of cities. I mean, like, depending on where it is, it could really be a ticking time bomb. So you're saying that the magma plume kind of goes and sloshes around, and then it's going to slosh back and create more. So is that kind of where you're going with that?
Yes, that's exactly where I'm going with that. And these arms are just going to keep pushing more and more to the east. And where you see all those open spots on the map between Alaska and Hawaii and Japan, that whole little open area in the middle is going to fill in. And whenever that fills in and pushes, that is and closes off there. They say that that's what is going to help. That's what's going to lubricate Cascadia.
Wow. Okay. So
that's what's going to let it snap.
That would be a huge deal. So to zoom in here, what she's kind of talking about here is that it's going to go swing back, go here, lubricate this, and then this, which is basically wound super tight. They thought it was going to happen 2 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago. Then it would just snap. And we're talking about a 9+ earthquake. You're talking about a guaranteed tsunami from Vancouver, Canada. From Victoria, Canada, all the way down to the beginning of California. So 3 states. 21 states are actually preparing for this. Cascadia Rising was one of the largest drills we've ever had in history. And we're not even on a scale of a 1 to 10 to a 1 in preparedness yet. So this is a big deal. And now it is very nerve-wracking. I think it could happen at any moment. That's why, we moved twice. We moved once, and then family members said, no, you're actually not far enough. Then we ended up moving a second time to get farther away from the coast. I mean, like, this is really crazy stuff, what's going to happen. And you're going to see millions of people literally walking from California to, towards places like Nevada. So we have no idea when this thing's going to pop off. But some are saying, is exactly what Pagan 11 is saying, that this thing is on its way at any moment. So we should all be prepared. Well, Pagan 11, I appreciate your call. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Just wanted to give a big shout out to the family and to the mods and everybody in the crew. And Dex did an amazing job filling in for you. And we missed the calls, but that's okay. We still got the news. And I'm really proud of the system that y'all have set up, that you guys can keep still bringing this information to us, even though, somebody is unfortunately down. I'm really proud of you guys, and I appreciate all your hard work. I really do. Thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you for calling, and I appreciate you, and please call in again, okay? And we're going to make sure to link your channel on the website. You can go to marfooglenews.com and find Pagan 11's link. I was trying to find it myself, but again, the spelling, I was probably wrong. I'm a bad speller. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to pop this open for a second. All right, and that was, again, Pagan 11 from California. I appreciate all of you guys. It looks like that was our last call. Dex, I wanted to say how much I appreciate you, and a lot of folks that I actually said that as well.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the compliments from them. I mean, it's not easy filling your shoes by any means.
It's 5 days later, and they're still just they can't get enough of that Dex.
I don't know if it's that, but the show must go on.
Bushel Anna Peck, and by the way, I missed Tokomo Gaming's last one. It says I can't stop. Tokomo Gaming, thank you for not only coming by. I don't know if you never know if it looks like you actually like the show, so that it means a lot more than anything else. So thank you for watching. And then Chaos in the ER, longtime watcher, finally able to help support the fam. Thanks for all you do, Adam, Dex, and Mods. Oh, well, thank you, Chaos in the ER, and thank you for being here. And I've seen your name multiple times, so I just appreciate the people that come back. 808 Silent Butt Monkey. I'm guessing you're a silent butt monkey from Hawaii. Thank you as well for the lemon. Bethany with 2 Y's. You know, 2 Y's. Like, they couldn't stop asking why. The end is near. Thank you for the ice creams. Stiletti, Chicago artist. I appreciate that. And then Kelly Hall. Thank you for following. Welcome to the fam. Make sure to welcome Kelly Hall. Kelly with an I. And then I Am a Win says, just learning how this works. Okay, so I Am a Win says, just learning how this works. You never cashed my check. So that's so funny. And I probably have gotten maybe 3 or 4 over the last 2 years. I don't really cash the checks. I haven't, but I have kept all of them. And I've tried to send a thank you note. Again, there was one that was about 1.5 years ago that really came in clutch, and it was when I was literally at my worst point with my channel. So I do appreciate you guys actually physically sending that stuff. I apologize if I didn't mean to offend or anything. Beware the pale horse, says Doc Bill, and I Am a Win. Thank you. I appreciate that as well. Remote Chris says, haha, Vlad Chad. I appreciate that a lot. And then Sly the Coffee, Angela 4110, Don't Hate the Nate, Priscilla, Mr. Cornholio, Informed Women, Christina V, D79, Jilly J, Divine 1122. I appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Remote Chris again. Always look forward to the show. Kelly 2334 and mentioning Lady Lexi. Deck the halls. May we be jolly. Duck Hawk. Rachel 420. Bobby D. Lisa 772. Hog Frog. You guys are all absolutely amazing. And remember this, if you're watching the replay, remember to comment below. And I know, everybody asks you to like, but it actually physically helps. If you consider yourself a Foogle family member, make sure to press a like on that video. They just put a new emphasis now that they're doing the self-rating on that. So if you could like or even dislike, it helps the engagement ratio and it helps us get out to new people. So then, therefore, new people can come in the chat. We get rid of the negative ones. We keep the positive ones. So please, please like if you sat through the entire 2-hour show, I would really appreciate it. Dex would really appreciate it. We never really asked you. We've never asked you to do that. But if you can, we would love to see this hit 3,000 likes on YouTube. If we're not there yet, get us there, okay? All right, have a great night. Clark T and writers, I love you. Kishara would like to help with research. Have published. Kishara, we're actually trying to look for people to do writing and things, maybe articles for the show. We, of course, have our mods we're going to pick from first. And then, of course, branch out from there. End Times, thank you for your incredible support tonight. End Times has, I believe, done more Marfia badges than almost anyone besides Amy R. Amy R, of course, is, again, always our top supporter on the show. So thank you guys so much for just all of the support as well. Really taking over where other people can't. So really appreciate it. Did you keep the birthday Legos, Gentle Moss? Yes, absolutely, positively, Luli. And I don't know if you guys saw my post. I said that was the most amazing gift I've ever gotten in my mail. They sent 2 sets of the Yellow Ben Legos and then a smaller one with like wheels and all sorts of cool stuff. So we ended up actually building. I don't know if you saw that. I posted the picture of the little keyboard, the dinosaur, and the I want to say train that we built with it. So awesome. Thank you guys. All offer help to mod on DLive, says Channel Jammer. I actually would consider that. Humble Hashmaker. Thank you. And then Channel Jammer, yeah, you've been here for a long time, so we can talk about that. You guys have a great night. As always, be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. It's not a shoutro. It's not an outro. It's a shoutro. to bring it back and send all the positivity that we got to see in the Hawk Frog and the Laura with the G, Octo, Arbor, and the Angela, Reverend to the N and the Teresa TLC with the Howard Barb and the primitive DEC. Texas Rob 49 and the Debbie O with the red butterfly. Gotta bring the Miss Jackson on, right on by. Angela M and the Laura Griffith and the Bushel and the Pat. Got to go back around and I'm sorry I never cashed your check. And the one more mom and the rest of you, I love you so much. Came back round and thank you for the leggers, I'm so touched. It's always been my dream to go back with the Hog Frogs and the Mandys, Playhards, and Felicia's all in the fam. And speaking of the man, we've got that Mr. Thomas the Fam. It's all about the Paw Patrol and the Crystal and the JoJo Kelly. 2, 3, 3, 4, never getting on the jelly. It's all in the ABR and the end times by far. And we've come from nothing and we sit upon the one that you go and you know that we've got that Phil, Billy X and the West and the rest and the mess that bring about. Don't forget to like the video, get me to 3,000. Got to bring it back round and those feet come to pounding. Welcome Jimmy T44, new welcome to the channel. Make sure to check us out on marfooglenews.com. We are popping the chest as we speak. 20 seconds left. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 15, 15, 15. Ah, sorry. Got stuck there. You could say I was on a loop. 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 It looks like Sly the Coffee and was number 1, and I Love Beagles. Gem, Jojo A, 1, 2, 3, Kelly, 2, 3, 4. Our number 1 tonight was another creator, Tokomo Gaming. Totally unnecessary and so much appreciated. Thank you for supporting Marfoogle News. Number 2 was Watch Wood. Reading the Gospel came in at number 3, Romac 10 at number 4. Smart Kid 14 and End Times, thank you for everything you've done. I'd just like to go back around the side that we've got to do. It's about the Marfoogle family and we'll never leave with you. Still 1.3 thousand watching now, I say thank you. And if we could repeat our mistakes, then I would know what to do. And he'll go just like a Bradley knows they don't know where he'll go. Just like a Bradley knows they don't know when he'll go. You could say I was on. It looks like. Take the mask
mask off. We'll be on the plan, god damn it. We'll be on the plan, damn it. We'll be on the plan, damn it. We'll be on the plan, damn it.
They with the JoJo, A1 to 3. I love beagles in the corner, it's me. Gotta bring the checker wild, gotta bring the cha. Money with the roll and the Jim Rah. T-Bore, gotta bring it, I'm not sorry. Mrs. Cortana and Elisa Curry. I'm about to bring it back now. Play hard 69, gotta go back around. Now you don't know mine. Anti-M, gotta bring them like a Jim. Gotta do it. Chased on the list and the rest of my kicks. Up with the Kelly on the 2-3-ish. With the one my mom and that slide of coffee. Gotta bring it back down. Gotta love the way that they do it. I am aware and they know I'm up to it. With the Madalano and the remnant. Thank you, Marv. Tell that guy I will make sure to feed him this weekend on the LOL. Bringing down now, give him out with him. Remote is Trinity, red or blue, pure high hole. Kermit the Frog, yeah, thank you for your. Hey, Jason 78, I gotta bring it. Lindsay, I know West Virginia prepared my. I've got the Mr. R.C. and Ali. Say, all in the bones and the rest of the rip curls with the Tokomo gaming. Thanks, man, gotta bring it back with the Chili J. And the free of my art and the bringing out cars. I'm climbing all over my heart.
Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off.
T-Bore, we actually have merch. Go to marfooglenews.com. Our shop is there if you want to support, and I will be right back now. Mainly, thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you for being here almost every show. Again, the remaining... I just can't talk tonight. The remaining remnant, thank you. Tell them off that guy, I will be back a while. I would do everything and come back around with the Roxy Liz and the Mommy X and the Jilly J and the Really Sex. With the Child Money and the Free Your Dex. With the Free of My Art and the 907 checks and the Nameless Block. The Nameless Block. The Nameless Block. The Nameless Block. Got to go back around. Got the Cuban warrior princess, thank you. Don't know what doing that one in. No, that one not they do that. Every time that you've come for me, I know that you've got a gift for and a Elvira gift for. Gonna bring it right back now, you know. Every time that you've come for me, I know that you've got a gift for and a Elvira gift for. Gonna bring it right back now, you know. Every time that you've come for me, I
one more day. You've got a gift for and a Elvira gift for. Gonna bring it right back, now you know. Slide the coffee and the skin family. You've got to bring it back down and then you go. I kindly got to ask you to go and hang. I just like to stop it in the middle of the song. That's what I do. Because I'm trying to find the one that I really wanted to do. Was it this one? Just turn them all up and just go. No, it's not that one. Got the one more, my man, Miss Cortana. With the Kelly 2, 3, 4, more mana. Like an iguana. Got a Thomas up fam coming in and jam. Got a mommy X with the rest of them band. Chickawa. Gotta bring the cowbell just once, yeah. Date with the rest in the T-Bore. Gotta bring it back like a Cuban warrior princess. Gotta find somebody to ho with the Kevin and Dara. Door and Ray. Enchanted by you, right, gang? Boom. Got the Lisa Curry with the Checkawa and the Mr. Scurry. Cross that street with this is my screen name and the Wolves and the 55. Bring it right back and you know my side. Bring it. Now you sing it. I just wanna go back home, right home. Yeah, I bring it back to it all day. Consider I just want to go outside. Let's turn it down right now and let's go over to this one. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of this. You guys know what this one is, right? Kick it in. Window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Foogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news, Marfoogle news. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Foogle news, where are you? Only news I use. More Foogle news. Back and around the go and cut dog mine with the anti-am and the calm down. It's just me and Brad. Gotta go back down hanging out with the friends that we've got coming out with the Cuban warrior princess and I. Everybody already knows now. Heretical monk with the I love big goes Pete or Jim Auntie L. Gotta go back over to your dog to bring back down and you know it yo. I take out like people gotta bring it back with the pop party and the rest in back. You know that we're gonna do it all day over here on News, Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I know that you've got to go back. Calm down, it's just you and I love her all over you now. And if I could see your name now, hey Jim, Jamel, Resta, Felicia, and all of my friends, I know that we've got to choose. We choose our only news. Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Alice Clan, Mama Clan, I'm gotta bring it all down. Whitetail 7, Lisa Hall, RJ Harris, love them all. wrongs. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I work too, got to go. Scam family and the rest, you know we've got that engine out. All the way and back in ya. All I wanna see is you. All I wanna be is me. All I wanna see is peace. I wish I could go and love. Gotta bring it back. I said I'll bring it back. And you know it, no. Chaos in the ER. Got to say it by far. Injected by you, out of love. I just wish I could go outside and get some bread. I'm over the going there. Anyone knows. Thank you to everybody that supported me through the last 3 years. I really appreciate it. We're going to go over to the main site. We're going to see who we're going to host here. We're going to pop over and check them out. Check them out, check a while. I just want to go back on mine. Gotta go back in the back of mine. And you've got to go back down, down. Let's see here. We're going to end up hosting a random group here. Let's see here. Somebody we've never hosted before, so make sure that you understand we do not know what their deal is here. So, every time you go, you've got to bring it back now. Oh. Remember, everyone knows my name. Does not mean I support their content, but I think this is a good gentleman, so I'm going to host him. Have a fun time and make sure to show some love to others on the platform.